What is going on, everybody? It is Craig, and you might be like, "Wait a second, that's what you were eating. You asked two videos." Listen, I watched four movies in one day, and I made them all around the same time. I'm just gonna have them drop throughout the week, so I can try to keep up with this a little bit better. There'll be one more where you'll see me for X, and after this. But the movie we're gonna talk about right now, it's definitely a drop off from the last two, and as hype with people talking about it. I last two I did was Baghead and Late Night with the Devil. This is one that I never heard of until it popped up on Shudder, but it was made in 2022. The third Saturday in October. The third Saturday in October. It's actually the third Saturday in October, part 5. Or 4. Part 4 or 5. 4, 4, 5. You'll see the thumbnail. Sad, I forget off the top of my head. But this was like a Leonard part 6 with Bill Cosby, who I guess we probably shouldn't refer to too much anymore. Or like a Dude Bro Party Massacre 3, just because they say there's sequels, they didn't exist. And they actually played off that idea, and I think they were connecting this to Jason, because they're talking about 1980 and then, things like that. And I guess it's closest to Jason, i.e. because the guy came from the woods at one point, but, definitely the killer is very different than Jason. But it's a horror spoof, but it's a subtle horror spoof. It's not, Saturday the 14th. It's not Student Bodies. It's not any of the scary movies. It's not Shriek, If You Know What I Did Last Friday the 13th. And I know there's a bunch of others. It actually tries to be movie-ish, like without being a spoof part. Look at all the words I'm making up. But the spoof part is definitely there. And it also tries to go against trends. And some places they even spoof multiple characters at the same time, subtly. Like, for one example, one pretty well-known horror spoof or horror concept is the wheelchair character. And if you look back to probably the OG of the real, at least the OG as far as I think about, you have from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And the wheelchair character is a little bit of an asshole. And in this case, the wheelchair character is a little bit of an asshole. But then they take the same wheelchair character and have him talking to a little girl, and then all of a sudden he goes from acting like the asshole wheelchair character to acting like Bubba from Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. I don't know if that was intentional or not. I thought it was kind of cool to see that there. You also then had the couples, the hooking up. You had you had the one guy who had a stutter. You had the asshole jock type character. You had the bonding between a babysitter and the child, and they became all good friends and things like that. And the little girl was actually into horror movies too, which was pretty cool. I should have looked before I started doing this. I don't know if this is a trauma film. It was very subtle if it was, but they definitely had trauma-esque elements to it. And they also one of the videos that the girl was looking at the video store, I think, was Nukem High. But it was fun for what it was. The killer, and again, I think this too was intentional. The slasher was a black guy, which, as far as I know, and correct me in the comics, I can't think of a black slasher. And no, shut up. Every one of you like, what do you mean, Tony Todd, Candyman? Tony Todd, death. No. Candyman wasn't a slasher. Candyman, that's a whole different vibe to me. Same as Final Destination, a whole different vibe to me. You want to do that? Okay. So this might be the only, and obviously I guess you could throw in, what was it, what was the movie? I know I watched it, the one, The Blackening. Yeah, I guess you could throw that in there too if you want to, but again, that was also sort of a hyperbolic, exaggerated sort of spoof type movie. But anyway, that's it. I thought that was intentional, and I thought the killer, like I said, the killer wasn't that interesting, but he did do some interesting things. Like there was one case where the guy was screaming in pain after he cut off his toes or killed. Actually, no, I think it was after he killed one of the characters. Like he's just dancing around, and I actually got a Michael Madsen Reservoir Dogs vibe to that. So maybe I like this movie more because somehow my mind is making weird connections to movies that it wasn't even intended to. I think it was. You also had randomly the girl with the multi-colored, the alternated colored hair. You know, and I know I'm over my 5-minute mark, but I want to talk about this a smidge more. And then, of course, they do the thing. They kill him. He doesn't die. They kill him. They have to die. Shoot him. He got shot a bunch of times. He didn't die. That was a funny scene where he killed somebody that was, you know, had a gun, who was threatening him, shot him a bunch of times. And then he yanked out a knife. And the guy's like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Listen, no offense. You shoot somebody 5 times. If they don't die, they're allowed to try to kill you. That's, you know, because technically the guy didn't really do anything other than just stand around. And at the end, you know, they're in the hospital scene in the elevator. You know, the one girl's injured. She has the knife. He's over there. You're waiting for him. You know, he has a knife in his face. You're waiting for him to pop up. You know, and that sort of ends there, you know, intentionally alluding to a sequel. I would be shocked if there was a sequel to this movie, because I don't think it's going to have that sort of growth or traction to it. But, you know, man, if you have Shudder and you're a big older, if you're an older person like me, older man like me, and I just say that because I think if you don't know all the old tropes, and there's a whole generation of horror films who discredit and ignore the classics like Friday the 13th and Texas Chainsaw, and you know, I think they're idiots, but you know what? So my parents' generation thought we were idiots, so shit we like, so who knows? Teach their own. I do recommend watching it. I am going to give this I'm going to give it 5.5, which is high for me as of late with the stuff I've been watching. You know, but I'm going to give it a 5.5. And again, you have Shudder, watch it, check it out. It is not as fun as Dude Blood Party Massacre, because Motherface, Kirsty Swanson was better. And now that I think about it, that'd be badass to get Kirsty Swanson Motherface auto, because who does that? Who gets that? But it definitely is something to sort of put in and check it out. But that's it, everybody. Thanks for watching my video. There'll be one more, and then you won't see the blue shirt anymore. Have a good one, everybody. Peace.